Welcome to a new deep dive. Today we're going to try and unravel something that, well, it shapes our perceptions, influences our choices every single day, basically, how companies talk to us.
Yeah,
We've got some really, I think, insightful material here looking at integrated marketing communications, IMC, for sure.
exactly. And what's interesting about IMC right away is that it's so much more than just like the ads you see pop up.
Right.
It's a really coordinated, thoughtful way companies try to tell their whole story.
Precisely. So for everyone listening, our mission today is kind of to pull apart the core ideas behind IMC.
Uh-huh.
We're going to look at the different tools companies use to get their message out there and really try to get our heads around how they're navigating, today's crazy media world to
Yeah.
connect with people like us.
Sounds good?
Okay, let's dive right in then. What exactly is integrated marketing communications?
Okay, so at its heart, IMC is basically about making sure all of a company's promotional efforts are, well, singing from the same hymn sheet, so to speak.
Right.
It's the process of bringing together all their communication tools, things like advertising, PR, sales promotions, even their website.
Everything.
Yeah, everything. To deliver a message that's consistent, clear, and hopefully compelling to their customers. Think of it maybe like a sports team,
Uh-huh.
where every player needs to know the overall game plan, not just, their own specific job.
That makes a lot of sense. So it's not just about like running a TV ad and then doing some social media posts separately.
Exactly.
It's seeing how it all fits together into one picture.
Absolutely. IMC takes that bigger view, looking at all the ways a customer might bump into or interact with a brand, and its importance has really grown recently.
Why is that?
Well, a few key reasons. For one, the media landscape is just incredibly fragmented now. People are getting info and entertainment from so many different places.
Yeah, screens everywhere.
Right. Plus, consumers are, frankly, much more savvy. They can find information instantly. And of course, companies always want to make sure their marketing money is working hard, get the most bang for their buck.
So it's about being smarter, more strategic, more efficient in reaching people in this like super noisy world.
Pretty much.
And what's the ultimate goal of getting all this communication lined up so neatly?
The big goal, really, is building solid, lasting relationships with customers.
Yeah.
By consistently hammering home their brand message and showing the value they offer. Like, every time you interact with them, they aim to build that crucial customer loyalty.
Now, this changing media landscape you mentioned, I mean, I definitely feel that every day. How has that really changed how companies talk to us?
Oh, it's been a massive shift. We've definitely moved away from the era where, mass marketing through traditional channels like the big TV networks or major newspapers was king.
Right, the Mad Men era almost.
Kind of, yeah. Now it's much more about targeted approaches. And digital is obviously huge. The internet, and especially the explosion of social media, has really shaken things up.
Definitely. As a consumer, it feels like I have way more control now and so many places to get my information or opinions.
Exactly. Digital and social media have really put more power in the hands of consumers. They can research products deeply, read tons of reviews, even chat directly with brands out in the open.
Yeah.
This has opened up loads of new communication channels for companies, which is great, but it's also created a pretty big challenge. Just cutting through the noise, the sheer volume of information. Consumers are just bombarded with messages constantly. It's getting tougher and tougher for marketers to actually grab attention and, connect in a meaningful way across all these different touch points.
It really does feel like a battle for eyeballs or maybe just seconds of attention.
Mm-hmm.
Are there companies that seem to be handling this shift well?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Our source material mentions Unilever, for instance. They've apparently significantly boosted their spending on digital advertising,
Makes sense.
recognizing that's where people are spending their time. Then you have a brand like Land Rover. They've cleverly used social media and created these really engaging experiential events, things you actually do to connect directly with their audience.
Ah, okay.
These companies get that it's not just about shouting a message anymore, it's about fostering actual engagement.
Okay, so IMC is the big strategy, and this evolving media landscape is the playground, I guess.
Yeah, the environment.
Now, what are the actual tools the nuts and bolts companies use? I saw the term promotion mix mentioned.
Yes, the promotion mix. That's basically the specific blend of communication tools a company uses to, communicate customer value and build those relationships we talked about.
Right.
The main ones we usually look at are advertising, sales promotion, personal selling, public relations, or PR, and direct marketing.
Okay, let's break those down. Advertising first.
Yeah.
When I think advertising, yeah, I picture TV commercials, maybe online banner ads, magazine ads. Is that basically it?
That's a good starting point. Formally, advertising is defined as like any paid form of non-personal presentation and promotion of ideas, goods, or services by an identified sponsor.
Okay, keywords there.
Mhm.
Paid and non-personal.
Exactly. It's paid for, so the company controls the message, and it's non-personal. It's aimed at a broad audience, not one specific person.
Right, so it can hit a huge number of people all at once, but it doesn't have that, like, personal touch.
Precisely. The big plus for advertising is that massive reach. You can get your message out far and wide. The downsides, it can feel impersonal, and depending on where you advertise, think Super Bowl ads, it can be incredibly expensive.
Gotcha. Can you give a good example of advertising doing its job?
Well, the source points to Capital One. You know their long-running What's in Your Wallet campaign.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's a classic example. They're aiming for really broad brand recognition, trying to build a positive image, using consistent messaging, a bit of humor. It sticks with you.
Okay, I see that. Now, what about sales promotion? That sounds like discounts, coupons, that kind of thing.
You're exactly right. Sales promotion covers those short-term incentives designed to encourage people to buy something right now.
Ah, the immediate purchase trigger.
Exactly. It's about creating a little extra nudge, a temporary boost in value.
So it's about that quick burst of excitement, limited time offers.
Yeah. Our material lists things like coupons, discounts, contests, buy one, get one free deals, even those little displays right by the checkout counter, point of purchase stuff. They're all tactics meant to spur a quick buying decision.
Got it. Short-term buzz, immediate action. Okay, next is personal selling. That sounds much more, well, personal. Direct interaction.
Absolutely. Personal selling is all about those direct one-on-one interactions between a company's sales team and individual customers.
Right.
The goal is obviously making sales, but also building those crucial customer relationships over time. Think about a salesperson in a good retail store, or maybe a representative selling complex software to another business.
So like someone helping you pick out a new phone or a consultant pitching a big project?
Exactly, those kinds of situations. Personal selling is often the most effective tool when you're dealing with more complicated products or services,
Right.
or when building really strong long-term relationships with maybe fewer but higher value customers is key. That personal touch just allows for much more tailored communication. You can really answer specific questions, address concerns directly.
That makes perfect sense. You can build trust and really understand what someone needs in a way a billboard just can't.
Right.
Okay, moving on to public relations. PR. I always think of that as like managing the company's reputation. Spin doctors, maybe?
Huh? Well, sometimes maybe. But more broadly, PR is about building positive relationships with all of a company's different publics or stakeholders.
Stakeholders like who?
That could be customers, definitely, but also the media, investors, the local community, even employees. The main goal is to get favorable publicity, build up a good corporate image overall, and also, importantly, to handle or even head off any negative rumors, stories, or events that might pop up. Damage control sometimes.
So it's less about directly paying for your message to appear and more about earning positive attention and building goodwill.
Exactly. That's a key difference. PR often relies on credibility. Think about it. If a respected news outlet writes a positive story about a company, that can feel much more believable and carry more weight than a paid ad saying the same thing.
Yeah, true. Third-party validation.
Right. It's about building trust through credible sources and positive associations.
Does our source give a good PR example?
Yes, it brings up Land Rover again, partnering with conservation organizations. By linking themselves with these respected groups and causes, they not only polish their brand image, but also connect with consumers who really care about environmental responsibility.
Yeah.
It aligns with their values.
That's a really clear way a company can link its brand to positive things without it feeling like a direct sales pitch. Okay, last one. Direct marketing. What's that about?
Direct marketing focuses on making direct connections with carefully targeted individual consumers. The aim is often twofold. Get an immediate response, like making a purchase, and cultivate a lasting relationship.
So the key is direct and targeted.
Yes, very much so.
So we're talking email campaigns sent just to me, maybe. Direct mail with my name on it. Those online ads that eerily seem to know what I just searched for.
Exactly, all of those. Direct marketing allows for a really high degree of personalization. You can tailor messages very specifically. And another big plus is that it's usually very measurable.
Oh, you can track opens, clicks, purchases.
Right. Companies can see pretty clearly how effective their campaigns are, which messages work best with which segments, and so on.
Okay, so we've got this whole toolbox.
Mm.
Advertising, sales promo, personal selling, PR, direct marketing. But the key word in our topic is integrated, IMC. How do they actually work together? They shouldn't just be doing their own thing in silos, right?
Absolutely not. That's the whole point. The real power comes from that integration.
Okay.
These different tools shouldn't just be used randomly or in isolation. They need to be strategically blended to create one cohesive and ultimately much stronger message. Remember the sports team analogy?
Yeah, everyone playing the same game.
Exactly. Everyone needs to be working towards that same overall goal.
So making sure the vibe I get from a social media post matches what I hear in a radio ad or see on their website or get in an email.
Precisely. Consistent brand messaging across all these different places you might encounter the brand touchpoints that really reinforces the brand identity. It builds familiarity, trust.
Makes
And to make this actually happen smoothly, companies really need a clear IMC strategy. Often they'll have someone specific, like a communications director or a whole team, whose job it is to oversee and coordinate all these efforts across all the different channels.
And our source had a good example of this integration in action, didn't it? With Land Rover again.
Yes, it mentioned their Defender Above and Beyond Service Awards. Think about how that might work.
Right.
They probably used social media a lot to get nominations and create some buzz initially. Then maybe traditional media, like press releases or news stories, to announce the winners and share their stories more widely.
Right.
And PR efforts would highlight Land Rover's commitment to community service through the whole thing. See how all those pieces work together.
It paints a much richer picture.
It tells a more compelling brand story than just one single ad could ever do on its own.
That really clarifies how integration creates something bigger than the sum of its parts. Now, I also saw this distinction made between push and pull promotion strategies. What's the basic difference there?
Okay, yeah, push versus pull. These are two fundamental but quite different ways a company can direct its marketing energy.
Okay.
A push strategy is mainly focused on, well, pushing the product through the marketing channels to eventually get to the final customer.
Pushing it through channels.
Yeah.
Like distributors and retailers.
Exactly. Think of the manufacturer trying to persuade wholesalers to stock their product. Then the wholesalers try to persuade retailers to carry it. And finally, the retailers try to persuade you, the consumer, to buy it.
So lots of effort aimed at the intermediaries.
Yes. This approach often relies heavily on things like personal selling sales reps calling on retailers and trade promotions, which are incentives aimed specifically at those wholesalers and retailers.
Got it. Incentivizing the middlemen to stock it and sell it hard. What about the pull strategy then?
A pull strategy flips that around. It focuses on creating demand directly from the consumer.
Aiming straight for the end user.
Right. The thinking is, if consumers are actively demanding the product, asking for it in stores, they will essentially pull it through the channel. Retailers will want to stock it because customers are asking for it.
Makes sense.
This strategy usually leans heavily on advertising aimed at consumers and consumer promotions, coupons, contests, etc. to build that brand awareness and generate direct desire for the product.
So instead of convincing the store to stock it, you convince the customer to go ask the store for it.
That's the core idea. And, in reality, many companies use a mix.
But both.
Yeah, often a combination of push and pull tactics, depending on their industry, the specific product, who they're trying to reach.
Right. Maybe push to get a new product onto the shelves initially, then pull to get customers interested in buying it off the shelves.
That's a very common approach.
Okay. Now, let's talk about making all this communication actually work. How do you develop an effective marketing communication plan? What are the key steps?
Well, our source lays out several crucial steps. First, and maybe most importantly, you absolutely have to identify your target audience. Who exactly are you trying to talk to?
Know your customer.
Precisely. Then, you need to be clear on your communication objectives. What do you want that audience to do, or think, or feel after they get your message? Buy something, change their opinion, just remember your brand name.
Okay, target audience objectives. What's next?
Next comes designing the message itself. This is huge. What are you actually going to say, and how will you say it so it connects? This involves thinking about the message content, its structure, the format, visuals, words, tone.
That all seems logical. Get the message right for the right people, Then what?
After crafting a message, you got to choose the media. Which channels are best for reaching your target audience with that message?
Right, TV, social, email, podcasts.
All of the above, potentially. It could be traditional media, digital, social platforms, events. Then you need to think about your message source. Who or what is delivering this message?
Like a celebrity endorser versus the company CEO versus just the brand itself.
Exactly. The perceived credibility and attractiveness of the source can really impact how the message is received. And finally, and this is critical, you need ways to collect feedback.
See if it actually worked.
Yeah. Are your efforts hitting the mark? You need to measure the results and be ready to adjust your strategy based on what you learn.
So it's definitely not a one-and-done thing. It's a cycle. Plan, execute, measure, refine.
Absolutely. It has to be.
And I guess tailoring the message specifically for the audience in the chosen channel is just vital, isn't it? You wouldn't put a long, detailed explanation in a TikTok video, for example.
Oh, definitely not. Effective communication needs to be clear, persuasive, consistent, yes, but also really tailored. It has to resonate with the specific audience and feel right for the specific place they're seeing or hearing it. And like we've been saying, with digital and social being so important now, creating content that's genuinely engaging, maybe even interactive, is more critical than ever. You have to earn that attention.
Okay, wow. We've covered a ton of ground today.
Okay.
Let's maybe try and boil down the key takeaways for everyone listening.
Okay, so I think in a nutshell, IMC, Integrated Marketing Communications, it's really all about coordination, making sure every single way a company talks to its customers works together smoothly.
Right. One consistent voice.
Yeah, delivering a clear and consistent brand message. And doing that effectively means companies have to be adaptable, especially with the media landscape changing so fast. They need to strategically use a whole range of promotional tools, everything from broad stroke advertising to super targeted direct marketing, and always, always keep their specific audience and their communication goals front and center.
Right. And hopefully going through all this gives you, our listener, a much better sense of the complex thinking and strategies that go on behind the scenes.
It's definitely.
Behind how all those brands you see every day are trying to connect with you.
Exactly. It's a really dynamic field, constantly changing.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on. As you go about your day, start paying a bit more attention to how companies are communicating with you. All the different ways. What really stands out? What approach feels most effective or impactful to you personally? Maybe more importantly, try to figure out why. Why does that particular ad or email or social post resonate? Or why does it fall flat?
That's a great exercise.
Yeah, become a more conscious observer of the marketing all around you. Analyze what makes it work or not work for you. Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive.